I usually like to work with John Deere machines, but today I'm working with the biggest combine in the world. There is more to Laura Wilson than just farming. She is the face of the famous YouTube channel Laura Farms. She's famous online because she combines her love of farming with social media to make a farm that's growing. She turned her love of farming into a successful online business when she was only 22 years old. People were interested in what she did every day on the farm. She was determined to see her goal through, and her dedication shows that even in this digital age, old activities like farming can be fun and interesting. But there was a heartbreaking personal tragedy going on behind that flashy show and those exciting vids. Join us as we look into Laura Wilson's life and try to figure out the tragedy that affected her. Sheila Wilson. Laura Farms is the name of Laura Wilson's YouTube page which she runs. She is famous on social media and lives in Nebraska. Laura records her experiences working on a big corn and soybean farm on her channel by talking about many of her experiences in an interesting way that brings people to her channel. Everything about the farm is new for Laura, just like it is for any other fan group. Laura takes time out of her busy day to do this every day in some form or another so that she has at least one chance to learn or grow. She shares video updates once a week on YouTube and other social media sites, showing what she does on the farm and giving behind the scenes looks at her daily life. She just recently wrote about her tour of a farmhouse in Hawaii. Laura was also a part of the new tasks of taking care of the plants as they grow. Laura was getting ready for planting time earlier. So, she had been busy tilling the fields, keeping the tools in good shape, and making plans for the rounds. She has been caught doing a lot of different things on the farm lately, from changing the tires on her important farm equipment to playing off-road games. Many people wonder if she was born into a farming family because of how carefully she does everything. Do you think that her past might have affected the choices she made? Look at the video again to learn more. Her history and what she loves. When you think about it, farming is usually thought of as something from the past because Laura Wilson was born in Hamilton County, Nebraska. Farming is very important to her family, and her parents have really caught this love. The Carlson family is made up of Cale Carlson and Megan Nelson Carlson. She grew up on their family farm, where there were lots of fields and busy barns. Farming was a big part of her childhood, which was based on family traditions from the time she was born. Laura was thrown into life on a farm when she was very young. Carlson Farms, her family's farm, has been an important part of the town for many years. It was started by her great-great-grandparents, who moved from Sweden to Nebraska in 1910 and started out small but quickly grew their idea into a successful 2,000-acre business. Laura grew up with a family history of hard work and persistence. These traits stuck with her over the years and shaped her beliefs and goals. Over time, this changed the Carlson farm into a full-service commercial farm, where raising pigs, growing food, and making milk were some of the farm's main sources of income. Cale and Megan made sure that farming was the main thing their family did. As a child, she worked on the farm with her brothers, doing things like planting and harvesting crops and taking care of animals. All of these things helped her learn new skills and grew her respect for the way of life in agriculture. Young children learn by doing things with their hands. She became deeply interested in farming over the years, and it eventually became an obsession. Farming wasn't just a job when I was a kid. It was the reason why Laura Wilson existed. Their ancestors were pioneers who worked hard to make the land their own. It was like that spirit had been passed on to her. On the farm, things were not always easy, though. People had to get up early and stay up late, especially during growing and harvesting seasons. This finally caused a lot of health problems, so Laura had to learn how to work hard and solve problems in a way that would help her on her farm. How well Carlson Farm did. Take Laura's job at Carlson Farms as an example. It started out as a homestead more than 100 years ago and grew into a large business that showed how hard the family worked and how creative they were. Even though the farm was already doing well when Laura was born, her help and the wise advice of her grandfather made Carlson Farms even more successful. As a result, she streamlined most of the difficult, time-consuming processes and increased yields. Laura was especially interested in how technology could be used to help the environment. Precision agriculture methods that make the best use of inputs, cut down on waste, and minimize the damage that farming does to the environment were put in place by her. This included checking on the health of the dirt, effective control of water, and different levels of fertilization. Laura also made a big difference in this important area by being flexible with how she used green energy sources on the farm. They used solar cells and wind turbines to power their business, which cut down on their use of non-renewable energy and their carbon footprint. Laura had the chance to connect with her roots at that time and asked to rent some land so she could start farming again. She started tweeting short movies to share what she was doing and stay in touch with people. After a while, a video of the inside of a tractor went popular and got a lot of attention with a lot of retweets. Chance was just around the corner, and Laura was the one who found it. She understood that her unique view on farming could help her reach a bigger audience. After getting a lot of push from her friends and family, she started her YouTube page with the name Laura Farms. People quickly started following her channel after seeing her first video with the tractor clip that went popular. People liked Laura because she was funny, and her real videos interested them, so they subscribed to her channel. Laura's movies give an inside look at what she does on the farm every day, from planting and harvesting to taking care of the animals and fixing machines. She talks about many things connected to farms. Her posts make you think and teach you. She helps a lot of different types of people understand and enjoy farming. So one of the main reasons Laura is popular could be that the content she posts online is real. She doesn't hide setbacks or failures from watchers when she has to deal with broken tools, bad weather, and the difficulty of growing crops. Her fans like how honest she is and how much she loves farming, which has made her very popular. For Laura's business to succeed, she needs to build an online community with blogs, live streams, and social networks. People can leave comments on her work, which makes you feel connected and involved. Sarah's group is more than just her fans. It's really a group of people who share similar views and are interested in gardening and being environmentally friendly. She often talks to her viewers by asking them questions, giving them help, and giving them all sorts of farming tips. Through that kind of interaction, she's built a group of loyal, helpful fans who value her ideas and experiences. Laura worked with other YouTubers and social media stars to help her account grow. This put her even more in the public eye. She has also been to farming shows and events where sustainable farming information could be shown. She is well known in the online farming world because she has talked to so many people. A lot of people are inspired by her to make farming their hobby. Farming with machines. If you think gardening is just planting seeds and waiting for them to grow, Laura's world might surprise you. She's from the new group that brings farming into the 21st century with some really cool tech. In fact, she bases her work on farming with machines. Now let's think about how Laura's farm life and mechanical farming fit into a completely different way of thinking about how food is made. Some of them probably picture an old tractor slowly going around the field, or they might picture a farmer with a shovel. But Laura's life is very different. Farming is now high-tech gear thanks to mechanization, which makes work go faster and better than ever. Farmers don't just have to work hard and get dirty. Laura Wilson shows her audience that they can also use cutting-edge technology like plants with GPS, tractors with sensors, and even AI. All of these help Laura and her family farm on thousands of acres without getting too stressed out. That machine will put the seeds, water them, and harvest the crops while also gathering information that will help farmers like Laura make better choices. The most interesting thing about Laura's videos is how she lets her fans virtually ride inside these huge, high-tech beasts. To be honest, Laura's tools look more like they belong in a science fiction movie. Laura's tractors have GPS and auto-steering features that make it possible to plant the rows very precisely. The hard work is done by machines, and Laura keeps an eye on everything from inside the cab on a touchscreen. The combines are another type of farm equipment she uses. On a farm, one of the most important tools is the combine. They are used to gather crops, and Laura has added a lot of technology to them. As it drives across the field, it loads the plant with grain and records the yield at the same time. That helps her figure out which parts of the field are working well and which ones need to be changed for next year. After that, she has the plants. Those pots that Laura makes are beautiful works of art. Every hour, they plant a few thousand seeds. With GPS, the gardener will know exactly where to put each seed and how far apart they should be. They will also be able to change the depth of the seeds to fit the soil's needs. This means that the plants are stronger and the yield is higher. You might be wondering why all this automation is such a big deal. For the most part, Laura's farming would not be possible without these tools. A lot of people grow corn and soybeans on the farm where she works. It's not possible to handle that by hand. Because of this, mechanization has made farming possible over a larger area with fewer workers. This means that farms can grow more food to feed more people. Of course, it's not just about the size. The use of machines helps with speed, accuracy, and cutting costs. Her farm is based on facts. The amount of data that farm tools can pick up might be one of the most interesting things that Laura talks about. It keeps track of how much seed was used, how much water the plants needed, and how much crop was gathered every time she plants or harvests a field. Laura will look at this information in more depth so that she can make even better choices for the next season. It's farming that is based on facts and not just gut feelings. When you farm with knowledge and have an online profile, you can make money. Watch to find out how Laura makes a lot of money. How much money do you think Laura has? At first glance, you might be curious about how this Nebraska farm lady makes money on social media and from her farm. How much does she make? The question would be how Laura makes money from YouTube now that it has changed everything for her. This is how these ways of making money are broken down. Look at the video again to learn more. Laura gets paid every time someone watches one of her movies and an ad pops up. She gets more money from those ads the more people watch her videos. And when movies get 100,000 views, that makes a lot of money very quickly. Plus, as Laura's channel got bigger, more agriculture businesses became interested. For sponsorship deals, she's likely to get calls from John Deere, Case IH, and all the other big names in farming tools and technology. These deals can be as simple as a shout-out or as complicated as a full-on collaboration film. The pay is better when the brand is bigger. Besides that, she sells things like hats, clothes, and other gear that have her name on them. People love to support the station by buying this stuff, which makes her even more money. With the help of advertising links, she could also make more money. For every sale that comes from her link in the video or on social media, she gets paid some money. As an example, she advertises some gear, and someone uses her link to buy that gear. Then, she gets a small cut of the sale in return. She is also a farmer full-time, of course. Farming is a business, and while the money you make from it might not be as stable as money you make from other businesses, it is still a good example of how she makes her money. How much do you think Laura Wilson is worth with all of these ways to make money? There isn't an official number, but we can get a good idea of it. Content makers can make anywhere from $2 to $10 for every 1,000 views just from ads on YouTube. It depends on the content and how engaged the audience is, among other things. Given how famous her channel is, it's safe to say that ads are making Laura some good money. The amount of money she makes each year is thought to be well into the six figures, with $200,000 to $500,000 or more as her brand grows. Her net worth would include money she made on YouTube, a share in the family farm, and other things like tools. Taking all of those things into account, Laura's net worth could be anywhere from $1 to $2 million or even more. It's not possible to pinpoint it. But Laura has definitely made money from what she loves. Her story shows that if you're passionate about your job, you can make big things happen in it, no matter what it is. Laura first just wanted to talk about how much she loved farming. She has since built a successful business and made friends with people from all over the world who want to keep up with her. But sadly, Laura's story of success is cut short by a terrible event. Watch out for now. To learn more. Laura's incredibly sad story, Laura's rise to fame and success, isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It was marked by a terrible event. Even though Laura has come a long way in such a short time, she has also been through a terrible tragedy that has shaken her greatly. In the year 2023, Laura Wilson and her family lost their grandfather, which they can't put into words. Laura shared the sad news that her grandpa had died in a video on her channel on November 28th. In the video, she began to cry. He was Laura's rock of support and advice throughout her life, and she loved calling him Papa Kurt. Laura has a hard time holding back tears in the video called "The Farm Will Never Be the Same" as she talks about her memories of Papa Kurt. He was the one who turned her life around, and she said he was kind, giving, and creative. After a brave and painful fight with mesothelioma, a rare and very deadly form of cancer that was found in January 2021, Papa Kurt passed away. He fought this terrible cancer for almost 3 years with a lot of strength. He was a strong man. During everything, he kept working on the farm, trying to do as much work as he could, because he loved farming so much. She told a sad story about how her grandfather got sick. In the video, he shows how strong and brave he is. She talked about how hard it was for her to fight mesothelioma, both physically and mentally. Laura talked about the long hours spent in hospitals, the ups and downs of her emotions during treatment, and the times when her grandfather seemed to get better. These painful events also brought them closer by making them stronger, linking them, and making them more determined to help each other. Papa Kurt always made Laura think of love and sticking with things, which helped her get through everything. Laura carried on and remembered her grandfather's work. "My fatherly grandfather did amazing things with his life. In the past, he taught me principles like being creative and dedicated to farming. His spirit and dedication to farming have stayed with Laura and shaped how she runs her farm and lives her life." Many of the people who watched Laura's video felt moved to comfort her and share similar stories about their own losses. The support of the online community during such a hard time is calming and helps the pain a little. Her sadness over Papa Kurt's death was very close to home. It's also very hard on the farm without him. Laura's family is used to finding new ways to remember him now that these things have happened. In addition to what they were already doing, Laura took on some extra tasks that her grandpa used to be in charge of. Of course, this change has been hard, but it is also a time of growth. It put Laura's toughness and ability to lead to the test, and she was determined to live up to the standards and values that her grandpa taught her. Life after the tragedy, the sad tragedy of her grandfather's death, hit her very hard, was a big test for Laura. Laura's family and neighborhood, along with her own determination and strength, helped her get through that hard time. After her grandfather died, the habits of the farm gave her comfort for many months. She put all of her energy into her work and found comfort in the known rhythms of planting, tending, and harvesting. That helped her deal with her sadness by giving her a plan. They gave her a sense of stability and purpose, hard work, and being close to the earth. She also turned to her husband Grant for support, which made her feel strong. Laura didn't want people to forget about her grandfather after he died. She kept up with his habits and ways of doing things. In this way, she kept his spirit alive. As long as she worked hard, the farm would keep producing food, and she thought that her loving grandfather would want her to do this. She also took part in neighborhood events and charity work, which is a legacy of her grandfather's kindness and generosity. Laura showed her love for Papa Kurt by planting his favorite flowers and plants in a special spot on the farm. She put a special garden in front of this quiet spot so people could think and remember. This tribute helped Laura and her family feel better and gave them ideas. Still, to honor Grandpa's memory, Laura set up a grant in his honor for kids who are interested in farming. This reminded him of his heritage and inspired the next generation to keep it alive through hard work and new ideas. Laura grew a lot as a person because of this loss. She became more and more aware of how fragile life is and how important it is to enjoy every moment. She loved the people and things in her life more and more because they gave it meaning. The hard times she went through made her want to succeed even more. To make her grandfather proud, she took on new tasks and seized new chances. We all know that Laura is more than just social media. Let's see what goes on in the private life of the people who work behind the scenes. Who is the lucky guy she's with? Laura's wedding. Laura Wilson's home life has been just as inspiring as her work life. Grant Wilson has been her husband for almost 4 years. They met through friends they both had in Central City, Nebraska, which is where their love story started. They instantly hit it off because they both liked farming and being outside. Because he grew up on a farm, Grant also knew the pros and cons of living on a farm. They built a strong friendship on this shared platform, and they got married at the farm in a very beautiful ceremony, with family and friends by their side on December 19th, 2020. The way they tied the knot showed that they loved each other and cared about their roots. In every way, it's a real relationship. Everything works out for Laura and Grant's life on the farm. Grant's skills balance out Laura's, and the two of them have worked together to make the farm more efficient and productive. The couple's relationship goes beyond the physical tasks of farming. It also includes their shared vision, as they are always looking for new ways to grow and come up with new ideas. They've been able to handle the challenges of this way of life with great confidence thanks to the ability to talk to each other and get help when presenting their ideas. There are times when farming makes it hard to balance personal life with farming, but Laura and Grant have made it work. By putting conversation and support first, they are able to keep their bond. They both have a lot going on, but their shared goals and love for each other brought them together. The good and bad things that happened to them on the farm were shared. People who follow Laura on social media love to see this pair working together and enjoying the love and friendship that flows between them. People can grow together, and this bond is proof of that, based on understanding each other. They try to connect all the time. A quiet evening together at night after a long day of work on the farm is one way they try to spend time with each other. Other times, they plan weekend getaways to recharge. They value these times together a lot because they help keep their marriage healthy and happy. They don't have a child, though. Laura Farms and her husband had been married for 4 years, but had never talked about having kids. Of course, she can make her own choices without anyone else getting in the way. Laura and Grant are driven by their vision for the future. They want to continue building on Carlson Farms' work while also being open to new ways to grow and improve things. They want to grow more crops, put money into more environmentally friendly methods, and get the community involved in their plans. They often go to conferences, classes, and work together with other farmers in their field to stay on top of the latest developments in farming. Is Laura still using her energy and love for her work to change people's minds online? Check back to find out. Recent things Laura has done. Laura set up regular posts on her channel, Laura Farms, because she was having so much success on YouTube. She talked about what she did every day and other things that happen on the farm. Her movies about modern farming have always been both educational and fun to watch. In recent videos, Laura has shown how to make difficult jobs look easy by showing how to operate farm equipment and playing off-road games. Because she is willing to share her knowledge and experience, she has earned trust and power in the online farming community. Also, there are a lot of people who have a lot of impact on YouTube and other social media sites. There have been farming and neighborhood events where she has taken part, as well as some competitions. Matt's off-road games were probably the most exciting. Laura, on the other hand, played with other farming fans in a game. It was both difficult and satisfying because people could show what they were good at and meet others with similar ideas. Laura's views on farming and building communities have become more common because of events like the ones described. By going to different events in the business, she was able to meet people with whom she could work together. She has worked with farming groups like John Deere. She recently said that she wants to keep growing her business by learning about new foods and ways to do things that make the work more efficient. Laura wants to do more work to educate and raise knowledge about the need for sustainable farming. She plans to use her platform to do both. Community service and charity work are two other things that Laura gets ideas from her grandfather's life. She says she wants to get more involved in both of them. She said, "I hope to make a positive difference by taking part in a number of projects that help local farmers and teach people about farming." Laura Wilson's story is nothing short of amazing. As a child, she grew up on a farm and is now a famous YouTuber and successful farmer. As a result, she has become a role model for both farmers and content makers who want to learn from her. As she makes her way, she is leaving behind a lasting memory that inspires and teaches. In what ways do you think Laura Wilson's story is amazing? Please let us know in the space below the comments. Also, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and please like and share this movie with your family and friends.